You're like 85 point something% nước mắm, for sure. So that's not bad.
Well, I'm surprised that they define, you know, Vietnam and all that. I thought they just grouped
I do
Southeast
appreciate
Asia.
that.
Hello, everybody. Did you like that dramatic entrance with a door? I wanted to give you guys an update in this video. Do you like that dramatic pausing? But this isn't just about my life update, this is also about other people as well. First, many of you are probably wondering what You Jon is up to these days. Well, recently he got to spend Tet in Vietnam for the first time in like 14 years with his family. And his wife, just a few days ago, actually moved to Senegal to work with him. His daughter is being taken care of by the grandparents right now. And of course, many of you are quick to judge. But remember, his work, I don't think it's forever. He's going to work for a few more years, according to him, and then probably move back to Vietnam on a more permanent or semi-permanent basis. So good luck to him, and we'll see what happens in his life. And if you're wondering, this isn't a museum, this is actually my friend's house. Kim and Jon recently took their 2 sons back to Vietnam. In fact, Kim and Jon are still in Vietnam right now as we speak. It was their first time that they got to meet their grandmother, their aunts, their cousins, basically their whole family. So I'm sure that experience was great, and I wish I could totally be there. I really wanted to see it, you know, in real life, but either way, I know that they had a great time. And Kim's father's DNA results have not come back yet. When I do find out, I will definitely let you guys know on social media. And speaking of DNA, Jon gifted me a DNA test. And what you read on the title, yeah, it's true, but we'll discuss that and we'll go through my DNA results at a later time in this video. So what about my life? Well, I've spent more time in California than I have in the past 6 years. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time hanging out with friends and family. And I've just been doing stuff on the side. Some freelance consultation work with media, with fish tanks. Yeah, I'm a fish expert. And just online teaching here and there. And just, you know, even pet sitting. I've been just trying to do, you know, a few things here and there. But I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to go to grad school. If I get in, I've applied to 2 programs, and if I don't get in, then I will get a regular job, more or less a regular job, after the summer. So my life will settle down after summer, but at the same time, nothing is for certain because my life changes every day. You see, one email, one message could change the outcome of the next few weeks, the next few months. Life is like a big domino effect for me the past few years, especially the past few months. So I can't say for certain that I will go to grad school or I will get a regular job, but that's what I want right now. But that could change. Things can change. Things can come up. And many of these videos that you've seen, they just come up sporadically, out of the blue. At the same time, many other videos, like the Ecuador video or the Senegal video, took me many, many months to almost a year to prep and plan and think about it. So my life is not at a constant. Things change, and things will change. My opinions will change. And of course, this decision wasn't easy. It wasn't something I made overnight. It took a gradual period of time. And I'm doing this for myself, not just for my parents or my friends or my family. I'm doing this for myself. I feel like now, I just turned 29 recently. It's about the right time to kind of, you know, do something else. Because I know for a fact that I don't want to keep traveling like this. Certainly not after summer. And, you know, the irony is I'm actually about to go to Sacramento right now, but there's a reason for that. This channel will be a continuation of my life, and if that's something that you're interested in, then I welcome you to watch. But if not, then thank you for watching throughout the last few years, and no matter what happens, I still appreciate your time that you allow me to come into your life. And, you know, just because you don't see, let's say, Vietnam videos now, it doesn't mean that I won't make more in the future. Again, the future is uncertain. We don't know. All I know is I still want to continue doing this as long as possible and as often as possible. But sometimes life, circumstances will be out of my hand. And I hope you understand, and I hope you stick with me in the long run. And we'll see what happens. But anyways, I really think I should go to the airport right now. And I just wanted to say a very special congratulations to John and his wife. They are going to welcome a new baby, their first child, into this world very soon. So for OG viewers, you know exactly who John is. I used to sleep in his kitchen when I first moved to Vietnam, so he really gave me a heads up, and without him I don't think I would be here today. So thank you, John. Again, like many of you, he was just a stranger and we became really great friends, but we kind of lost touch over the years when he moved back to America. So when I move back to America, hopefully we can pick up where we left off, and I look forward to seeing him again, and I also look forward to you guys to see him. So anyways, now we can go to Sacramento. There's a lot of farms flying in, huh? And it's a little bit quiet. And they don't really take care of their suitcases here in Northern California. Wow, I can't believe it. This is my first time here. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The river here reminds me a lot of Winnipeg, Manitoba. And kind of like the skyline. Yeah, very similar. It reminds me of very similar to Winnipeg. That's weird. I don't know why I'm getting like this eerie Canadian Manitoba feeling. A little bit of Connecticut too. So I made it into Sacramento, but I'm not staying. Previously on AMC, so look at this. But the question is, what's gonna happen after Sacramento? Well, after Sacramento, I have a few things planned. But beyond those planned things, I have nothing. So this is why I need your help. I need stories, and I want to meet you guys as well. So after Sacramento, I'm going to Oahu. Notice I didn't say Oahu. For a few days. And I want to meet you guys. Or if there's anything I should see, please let me know. Send me a message, an email, or on Facebook or whatever. But more importantly, after Hawaii. 3816, 3816 southbound. So originally I thought by now, and it's April by the way, I thought I would be in Europe right now working, but it's easier said than done. It's actually very difficult for an American to get a job, unless you're like an engineer or something like that, or in the medical field. I wanted to work in London, but the whole Brexit thing, yeah, I was at a disadvantage. So the current plan right now, while I wait for the results of my grad school applications, I want to be back in Europe. And it doesn't seem possible for me to work there at this time. However, I still want to go to explore the possibilities and the options, as well as new countries, new places, and new people. So this is where you guys can help me. If you're watching right now or know somebody in a country that I haven't been to, and you don't have to be Vietnamese. If you're Vietnamese, that's great, but if you're not, that's fine too. Please reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram and let me know if I can come. Let me know if I can stay on your couch or something like that. Or if you have any ideas, even if you can't host, just some ideas or a lead or a story or something like that, I would be greatly appreciative of your time. And I will go back to familiar countries and you'll see familiar faces. So I think I'll be back in London for a little bit. I'll visit Denmark again and maybe the Netherlands too. Again, it really depends on if people can host me, if I have a place to edit these videos. There's really no way for me to do these videos without the help of you guys hosting me, giving me leads, giving me stories, and sharing your own stories with me. So I really, really appreciate that. So I will be in Europe hopefully around April, the end of April to the end of May. And if it sounds like I'm out of breath, I am. This station is huge. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of the next few weeks and perhaps the next few months of videos and my travels and all that, and I really hope you can be a part of it. Yet you're still probably wondering, what am I doing in Sacramento and why am I at the Amtrak station? Well, are you ready? All this suspense. To me it's a big deal because the most influential and the most prominent Vietnamese American diaspora professor, scholar, has invited me to come up here. I've been waiting to meet her for a long time. I've been wanting to meet her for a long time. And she's a professor at UC Davis. However, she lives in Oakland. And that's exactly where we're going. You're probably halfway typing the comments right now, but yeah, I had a piece of Rice Krispies stuck on my mouth, but I'm sorry about that. And I think I'm crying a little bit. It's the wind, it's my allergies. And you're thinking, wait a minute, if you're going to Oakland, then maybe you should have flown into San Francisco. Yes, I should have. But I'm actually seeing another friend tomorrow, and you'll see that video after this one.
Welcome to Oaktown.
Well, I believe it's really you.
I know, right?
Wow.
No,
This is
you're
amazing.
the one. I'm like surreal. It's like you popped out of a YouTube.
I didn't know what to expect
Yeah.
about Oakland. I thought
Oh
I was
my
going
God.
to Sacramento, but you know.
Oakland is the place. So my mom's from Nha Trang and my dad is Bắc Kỳ Nam Tu
Okay.
from Hanoi.
Right, but the Valverde, where's that come from?
Oh, that's my grandfather. So he's most likely Basque or Portuguese.
Yeah, see right there, Vietnamese stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
So this is Clinton Park, and back there was a Hung Viet Community Center that I was working at for years. And so you'll see here, this is part of Oakland. This is Oakland.
But as you were saying, like, so when you went back to Vietnam for the first time in 1983, which is rather early, you had to go through Thailand to get a visa.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Obviously, there wasn't any embassies here, or
There were no embassies in Vietnam. In fact, I was very naive, and I remember going to a representative office in Hanoi, and I found a VietQ there, and I said, "Hey, I'm here doing." I was like 21 or 22. I said, "I'm doing VietQ research. Can you help me out?" And she just gave me this look like you're an idiot. She's like, "Look, we cannot defend you or protect you as an American citizen, so you better be careful with your research." And I was like, "But why?" Like an idiot. But anyway, point being, you're on your own. And anything could happen. They kept my passport. They harassed me. Visits from the police all the time. You had to get permission to go anywhere. I was lucky enough to get sponsored by the Bộ Ngoại giao and the universities there, because I was working at the Indochina Archive for years. And at the Indochina Archive at Berkeley, we had delegations coming through, like people doing Hollywood type films or delegations from Vietnam. And so I had very early access to dignitaries in Vietnam and such. And so when it was time for me to go to Vietnam, there was only 2 schools in graduate school that would send people to Vietnam, and one was Yale and another one was University of Hawaii. And I went through the University of Hawaii in their graduate program. I grew up in a very conservative household and had very strong ideas about what the North was, and and all that changed when I was flying over Hanoi, and I was so nervous, because of all the stories and the Hollywood films and what your parents say about the communists. I'm freaked out. And then I looked down and I'm like, oh my God, all along the skyline were bomb craters, And I realized that at that point that, this is my Vietnam too. These are my Vietnamese people too. And they suffered a lot too, stories that I didn't hear about or didn't know about or didn't believe. And,
yeah, there's always two sides to everything. Yeah.
So, and then when I landed, I would see all these quote unquote ponds that were basically also craters, that were filled with water. And, and the people there were more or less welcoming by and large. And I just felt kind of a little bit sad, because even the most educated and open-minded individuals had only very limited education of what happened in Vietnam, between the North and the South, and why there were the refugee, fleeing by boat. They didn't have any history. They didn't even know there was a South Vietnam. I became a real academic. Like, I studied and interviewed and researched, and I saw that people have legitimate claims to very diverse histories.
Right, right. History is all. Yeah, her history is all about perspective.
It really is.
It's not just about the politics, but oftentimes people paint a broad brush with politics and with people.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't do that because
True.
it's separated. Yeah, there are some people who are politicians and government people, but the vast majority are not.
Are people.
Yeah, they're just regular people.
It's like
right?
saying, I hate the United States. Well, do you really hate the United States and its people, or you hate the policymakers and those the corporate, giants that run the government?
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And you can't paint a broad brush.
You can't.
That's
Cánh gà chiên nước
Một
mắm,
cánh gà chiên
hai
nước
hai
mắm rồi gì nữa?
hai phần, and để
Hai phần cánh gà chiên nước mắm rồi
vâng,
gì nữa?
và để ớt riêng nhá.
Ok, rồi
Ok,
gì nữa không?
có nem nướng Nha Trang.
Một nem nướng Nha Trang. Rồi gì
Ok,
nữa không?
một bò bía.
Một bò bía.
Uh-huh.
4 phần gì nữa không?
Dạ, với lại cơm tấm đặc biệt.
Một cơm tấm đặc biệt là 5 phần gì nữa không?
Thế thôi chị ạ.
Oh, you have fish. Nice. Oh, you have lots of fish. Nice.
Sorry, it's not looking his best. I haven't cleaned it in a while.
Hello.
Em ngồi xuống đi. This is the best restaurant in Oakland for Vietnamese food, in our opinion.
Okay.
So we had a very small wedding, and our wedding is just full of these activists, right? So I brought in an artist from OC, and he came up, and I said I want it in a sort of like mock propagandist, communist propagandist style, right? And so it's it's not like không có gì quý hơn độc lập tự do, right? Which is the saying, but then when we change it to không có gì quý hơn love and family, right? I've always liked fish and birds, and
Me too.
so at the time, say 20, 30 years ago, you either are doing area studies in Asia, you know the language and whatever, you go in there and do the field work, observe, or you're doing ethnic studies, which is people come here and they stay here and they find their identity or politics nation bound. I'm observing what's going on in Vietnam, and I'm observing what's going on with the community here, and I'm telling you, for sure Vietnam affects the diaspora. But when I lived in Vietnam in 93, people were telling me the impact of the diaspora on Vietnam, economically, politically, culturally, and I said, wow, our little diaspora has such an impact on the development and the identity and the trajectory of Vietnam.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when I said this to
this was 93.
This is 93.
Right,
so when I said this to area studies people, they were angry. They're like, how can a group of despondent sort of refugees have any impact on a nation state, right? And inversely, the people here were like, we don't care what's going on internationally. It has no effects on us being Americans, as Asian Americans.
NQs, are they givers or are they providers? Or are they takers? Are they takers
All
or providers?
Absolutely of the above. And sometimes within the same VitQ. They take, they give, they provide,
Right. So it's not as, black and white.
And there's no one VitQ. And there's no one Vietnamese diaspora, and there's no one Vietnamese community.
Right.
And that's why when people say, oh, the community's like this, the community's like that, I'm like, no, the community is 4 generations in the U.S. now.
Right.
And so we have sometimes 3rd generation people born here. And so how can you tell me that's like the Arvin folks who've lost what they perceive to be their country? I've documented, research and analyze that history.
Right.
Yeah.
And if people want to know more about your work, they can read your book. It's available on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, Transnationalizing Vietnam.
Plug it. Is it on Amazon Prime?
There's lots of scholars looking at diaspora, and in particularly those with large populations like France and Australia and Vietnam. So people obviously are doing that kind of research. But I think those who have taken initiative to really examine the sort of the vast dispersal of diaspora has not really been done, and that in part because it's very difficult to do comparative work, and that's why it's something that we all have like a fantasy about. Like, I would love to go into Cambodia and look at the Vietnamese diaspora. To me, your videos are amazing, but possibly they could be underrated if you don't realize how difficult it is to get say the Vietnamese diaspora to speak frankly with you on any issue. There's variety of reasons why people would not feel comfortable. Like for me, I spent 20 years doing my interviews, over time to build that trust. And for someone to have that something, that je ne sais quoi, to come into a completely new environment and almost instantaneously connect with a people on some very basic, human level, or being a Vietnamese in diaspora. There are these certain links that you can just say, we are Vietnamese away from the country, and what does that mean? And Kyle captures that, and then one would have no understanding of how incredibly difficult it is to get that sort of response, and that he captures it in the most earnest and genuine, real ways. I think is a testament to him as an interviewer, to you as an interviewer. So for me, it's, I don't think we need to create these binaries of you as a documentarist or the artist or the videographer, me as an academic, as the researcher and the writer, because I feel there is just this natural symbiosis in observing your videos, because immediately it charges my brain, and immediately I'm contextualizing things. Immediately I'm getting, the nuances of those videos, and it doesn't require you to over-explain, because I think it's also a sense, when and it's on all levels. You can watch and go, I can see something there. How intriguing, or how fantastic, and or me, how rich in data. Even if I want to duplicate it tomorrow, I could not. There's just so many things involved. The flexibility, that there's just like the sense of, I have a saying, vừa gan vừa ngu, which is you're both, super brave and kind of super stupid, and you have to be.
I agree.
Yeah, you have to just kind of go in head first and think about it later.
I agree. And I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, and that's the only way, and that is
Right.
absolutely the only way to get this. Because if you start thinking about how am I going to get this,
Right.
there's no precedence for it.
Right.
So then there's
Exactly.
no way you could think you can do it. Usually it takes years. So if it takes 1 week, 2 weeks, it's a miracle.
Right.
It's amazing. You will see there is a genuine desire in you as as a documentarist to really allow for these voices to come out, and that is really clear. So when I see these videos, I'm at once grateful, and I'm also really drawn to you as a personality, because I think this guy's a goofball. He's just out there being really vulnerable, being really curious, but also being really smart, because I see the video on so many levels. So I recognize that this person has thought about this. This person has thought about these experiences. This person has thought about this individual as an individual, and the importance of this work. Not many people will see the importance of this work, and so I really appreciate that, and I see the hard work that goes into it, and I absolutely see how people would open up to you, because you present yourself as someone who's really thoughtful. And
I actually care about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Really thoughtful about what it would mean for them, because in many ways, you put yourself out there, of course, and with it comes consequences, but they are doing the same. And so there is this both of sort of putting ourselves out there, right? We put ourselves really out there, and I think like I said, but over time then it becomes this clear. I think that's when it hits them too, that wow, they needed to do that. They really, really need to do that. And you allow them to do that.
And you're growing all of this off of those LED lights.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's
Wow.
it. I learned from this Chinese guy, right? And his wife, they've been doing this for 30 years. And they use CO2. They'll infuse CO2.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't.
What's the black stuff? Is that the Amano's planting soil or something?
This down here?
Yeah.
No, it's just rocks.
What? It's just gravel?
Yeah.
Why is it the black part of it?
What black part?
Like,
it's
or-
algae.
Wait, so this is not planting soil up here?
No.
How about up there?
No.
The black stuff down there.
It's not.
This?
It's like poo.
Oh, what?
We love bird and fish.
Fish, yeah, exactly.
And we
I
don't
was
bathe
shocked.
that often.
I was shocked. I don't know if that's something you want to tell people, but there's no filter, there's no CO2,
No heater.
no heater. Yeah, and it seems
and
like everything is
so-
thriving, you know? And that tells you, again, there's different perspectives on how you can keep fish. There's no right or wrong. Let me
It's
know if they
just,
die, it's wrong. So all day I've been kind of hyping about my DNA test, right?
Yes.
And hyping meeting you, and I wanted to share with you my DNA results.
Okay.
I've already seen them, so it's not much of a surprise for me, but for my audience it's going to be a surprise, and they'll already, you know, kind of hear about it on the title. They already kind of know, but
Okay.
let me log in. So I use a 23andMe.
Do we get to test? Do I get to guess beforehand?
Yeah. You can guess. Yeah, you can guess.
Cambodian and Chinese. That's awesome.
Wow, I'm 85.3% Vietnam. So,
That's a really high number.
yeah.
12%
Chinese, mainland Chinese.
Oh.
Look, when I looked at it briefly, it just said Southeast Asian.
That's impressive. That's
right?
a really high
now
number.
Now it says Vietnam, 85.3%.
Broadly East Asian and broadly East Asian or Native American.
Yeah, broadly East Asian is
And
just
then
probably like
0.2%.
maybe Indian or like, so it's everything: Japan, Korea, China, Mongolia, Eastern Russia. But that's too it's too varied, right?
1900 was the Chinese part. So
Right.
in the 18.
Right.
So it looks like 1800s.
So it looks
around
like great grandparents.
there. Yeah.
Great grandparents.
Great or
okay.
great. Yeah, great.
Right.
Yeah, at
Interesting.
least. I'm curious of your audience who came up with 100% Vietnamese.
Yeah, did anybody
Yeah.
come up with 100% Vietnamese? Leave a comment down below. I'm very curious if anybody, you know, who
I'd be
who
surprised.
did- yeah, I'd be. Yeah, me too.
I'd be
I'd be very,
surprised.
very, very surprised. Because they're really. I mean, yeah, you're right. The Cham blood and ethnic minorities and
Ethnic
stuff
minorities.
like that. But this, but beyond that, like this test tells you about your health risk and your traits, right? And I read through some of it. It's actually very interesting. A lot of it is true, more or less. I mean, like cheek dimples, likely no dimples. However, I think I have a dimple. Is that a dimple, guys?
You gotta poke yourself with a
Yeah,
pen.
yeah. So
and-
again, I don't know how accurate this is. I can't say that I'm full Vietnamese anymore, right? if people ask me, I'll say yeah, 85%.
You can round it up for sure.
85% Vietnamese and
Yeah. What are you? I'm 85% Vietnamese.
Now I know at least one of my relatives, likely my great grandparents, or one of them came from China. Very
Amazing.
interesting. I wonder how they got down, you know, south to South Vietnam like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
It's amazing. You know what was a long trip?
Tell me.
Sacramento to Oakland.
Sacramento to Oakland.
Yeah, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
For those who are traveling in Northern California, Sacramento's very far from the Bay Area.
Right, yeah,
Just
it
in
is.
case.
Now I know. Now I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know. But okay, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. That was a lot of fun.
Sure. All right. Now we're probably just gonna go talk about fish for the next 4 hours.
Absolutely. Aquaponics and aquascaping and nano fish stuff. Yeah.
Just last night I was laying there wide awake, just wondering how I got there, the journey so far, and thank you for being a part of it. And just like everybody else who I meet who's a part of my life, and meeting them, even if it's just single serving friendships, a few meals here and there, but I really did appreciate our conversation and our discussion late into the night, and I really did learn quite a bit about just everything, including a very unique way to keep fish and the diaspora, and about Vietnam, and the connections that Vietnam and America have. Most people don't know about, but I love the fact that you said you help bridge the two peoples, the two nations in a sense, and that's what the whole diaspora is really about, more or less, because, and you can see it across my videos as well. It's like these people are away, but they still are Vietnamese no matter what, and I love that fact.
And you bring the stories,
Right. Right.
We could talk
I
about
try.
the living.
I
You
try.
can talk about things in the living room, but you're actually out there bringing these stories to light. That's
Right.
really important.
Right. No, I definitely have tried, and hopefully we can do a few more before the summer is over, and hopefully maybe we'll see you during the summer as
Yes,
well. Who
absolutely.
knows? Yeah, who
Da Nang.
knows?
We're gonna meet up in Da Nang and Phu Quoc.
maybe.
Put it out there, and it's gonna happen.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I want it. I want to. I don't know about Da Nang, but maybe Phu Quoc.
Yeah. The world is small.
Right. I mean, the hard part was meeting the first time, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard
Now
part.
it's easy.
Now it's easy. Now everything after the fact is easier. But I don't know if it was clear exactly through these vlogs what you do and and all that. And
I don't think it's clear at all.
Probably not clear at all because I didn't want to film everything, right?
Right.
Because it's it's hard to talk,
Yeah, no.
when the camera is there. But
Well, look
if
me
you
up,
guys,
RTLink.com.
exactly. If you guys, oh, that's a great plug. I was gonna plug you, but you're already plugging yourself.
Fucking myself. I'm learning from the best.
If you guys are more interested in Dr. Valverde's work, please check her out.
newvietnam.ucdavis.edu. Learn about the work we're doing in making those bridges that Kyle's talking about between Vietnam and the rest of the world. Yeah, we're all doing the same thing in slightly different ways, right?
Yes,
So,
yeah, right. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Well, check out her book on Amazon. Yeah, and this is not an affiliate link or anything like that. I'm just gonna post up a link. It's not an affiliate link, by the way.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
You have a good
Bye.
trip.
See you soon. See you soon.
Yeah,
Bye. Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.
Stay dry.
Thank you. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much. Back in Sacramento now. If you enjoyed this video, the usual thing, but more importantly, do follow me on social media, on Instagram, on Snapchat, for up-to-date information. With YouTube, there's an edit delay. Follow me on those social media platforms. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Where are we going now?